You are now listening to Crash Talk Podcast with Dennis Lopez and April Capati.
I think they're ready.
But anyway, so today I want to talk about something that I think is really how do I say it, big in this world, or as in like a creative or someone who's trying to create a business or just in general start a new goal in life or something. So what it is important. We're gonna talk about like motivation, what motivates me, what motivates her. The word failure, because as much as you think that doesn't affect you, it does. We're gonna talk about our struggles, like my life struggles, work struggles, hers. What else? There was something else I want to say. Is there? No, I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, it's gonna be all part of it anyway. So, so what I want to get into real quick is the word failure. What I want to say, or hopefully, as we're speaking to each other, you get some more out of it too, is the word failure, failing. I know it's a scary word.
It's discouraging.
It's discouraging, but long story short, that doesn't mean life is over. Mm-hmm. Obviously in school, you fail a class and you fail math or you fail something, but you get the opportunity to study more, and next report card you get a C, a D, whatever. You work your way up. So that's how I kind of have been looking at it in life, where the word fail doesn't scare me anymore. Like before, it didn't scare me, and it did scare me. But now, like, when I hear the word fail, like, I don't even believe in that. Like, yeah. And when I think about it, when I walk Domino all the time, and I'm like, damn, if I didn't let that bother me when I was like 25, around there, like, especially when I was doing like music at the time, like, rapping, auto-tune, singing, whatever, like, I would have probably thought I could have probably been somewhere right now with music, but because that I was so worried about failing and worried about what people thought of it, I was worried about failing and worried about what other people thought, and if they didn't give me the right reaction, I would think that it's trash, when in reality it's not. They might have not liked it, but like I say, I always tell you that there's billions of people in this world, and they probably would have fucked with it. Like, I just didn't give it the chance because I was so focused on my friends and my people around me for feedback, when it's really like, fuck them. If you like what you do, and you think you are creative, and you feel confident in what you do, then you don't need those opinions, because you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for other people. And I wish that at that time, like, I thought about that. And but not to say that it stopped me from doing anything. Like, if it didn't work, I just kept going. And I failed so many times where the average person probably would have just gave up and like, man, fuck this. Like, I'm not gonna continue on with this shit. So for me to get to where I'm at now, like, and I told you too, like, not before the year even started, like, I came with that mentality of like, fuck it, like, why not? Just like
we literally just saw a t-shirt that said that.
Like, it was like, fuck it, why not? What do I got to lose? And that's the thing. Like, I think with failure, it's like, I think in my head, what I believe is when someone believes in something so bad and they fail at it, they think it's over. And it's not. All it is that whatever you did there didn't work. Figure something else out. with the same idea that you have, but figure it a different approach. Go at it at a different approach, and see if that works. For example, when I had the embroidery business, when I first started, I made this big ass chunk of money, and I was like, no way, like this is what I can make. Like, fuck it, like let's do it. And then, I did it. I completed the job, the money here, and like a month or two later, I didn't get nothing. Really, I barely got baby ass jobs, and I'm like, this shit is not working. Like, I thought I was gonna get this. Why am I not getting this anymore? And what did I do? I stopped it because I was not getting what I thought I was gonna get. So. And that's what popped in my head. I was like, fuck, I failed. Like, what did I do wrong? It didn't stop me from keep going or trying something different, but it stopped me from doing that specific business. And shit like that, I feel like when you focus on that too much, as in like, how much money you're going to get, or I hope my friends like it, or this and that, then I think you lose the interest of what you want to do. And when I started this, when I told you about this, like, let's do a podcast, it was an interest that I had that I thought, or I still do think, like, this is gonna work. Like, like I feel that we can make this work, and hopefully it works, and it also was with that I don't care about what people say now. Now people sorry if I'm like blanking out, but because it's I think about this shit all the time, and I see it, and I get sad when I see people start something or tell me an idea. Not sad, I just get like, damn, man, you should have just did it, or
kept going,
but they never started, or they just stop. And because of the mentality that I have now, like, I see it, and when I hear it, I'm like, yeah, like, go fucking do it, just do it. Don't stop talking, do it, just do it. And back to, like, people worry too much about their friends and like family wise or something. And I was listening to this one dude, and he was talking about he was like, don't show anybody anything. He's like, as bad as you want to show somebody what you created, because as a creative, like, everybody, you want to show what you did, you think that you created something great, but the best thing to do is just create it and then put it out into the world. And he's like, because people get discouraged when you put something and your reaction isn't the same. I told you, when there's things that I tell you sometimes, and I look at your face for the emotion to see, like, should I keep going? Should I keep doing it? Should I tell her more about it or not? And then there's sometimes when I tell you something and it just seems like you're not interested. So then I'm just like, never mind. Maybe it's not a good idea. I don't want to
you were
continue.
Too focused. You were too focused on how I would react to it instead of how you felt about your own project that you wanted to do. So now you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You want it. It's like you're trying to get validation to do it. But if you think it's a good idea, you think, like, you're motivated to do it, you just got to do it.
Yeah. So I always looked for people's like how they react to it, their reaction. And if they're like, oh yeah, that's fire, like, do it. I'm like, all right, for sure, I'm gonna go do it. But if someone's like, as soon as they go like, maybe you can change this, then it was a point where I get defensive, because I'm like, what the fuck do you know? Like, you don't. Yeah. This is my idea. Why are you telling me what to do? And that's what fucked me up. It's like I had to stop thinking that way. And so, like, for example, like this podcast, like, I didn't tell my friends, I didn't tell nobody really besides you that we're doing this. And the reason why is because I didn't want any of them to know.
Yeah.
I wanted to do this as in, like, I need to put this shit out and not worry about it, because they're not going to understand my vision.
Yeah. Is he gonna get it?
But yeah, like they're not gonna understand my vision. You know, no one's gonna understand your vision like you do. And so that's why I didn't tell anybody when I dropped it. And when we dropped it, you know, we got positive feedback.
Yeah.
You know, and
it was something that, you know, we already knew we were going to get any kind of feedback, you know, so we weren't like focused on it.
Yeah, we weren't
just
focused
like,
on
let's
feedback.
just do it because this is what we wanted to do and to see how it goes, you know, but we weren't focused on like, oh, who's gonna watch or who's gonna, you know, share it, who's gonna like, we
kind of
went for it.
Yeah, like it's more in the fact that we talk so much walking and sitting down at home. I was just like, I feel like we talk about some good things a lot. Yeah. Why don't we just put it on camera and put it out to the world? And maybe some people might like it, some people might not. But who knows? I don't know it. You don't know until you fucking do it.
Yeah.
So failing this is not in my head. If it don't work, it don't work.
Yeah.
If it does, it does. Like great, you know. But you keep learning from each episode and each episode, or for example, like us, like we'll learn from each episode. Maybe this topic didn't do well. Okay, so let's stay away from that. Let's do this. We'll see which one works, you know, like, but you don't know until you fucking try. And that's what I did. I just have this fuck it. Like, what do you got to lose? And failing is not an option. I don't believe in failing.
I think if you think you failed, it's just like now you just have a bigger challenge. Like it didn't work out here, so like now challenge yourself to look at it a different way and then still pursue it, you know. I don't know if it was like a Disney thing or whatever, but you know, if you look at something and it doesn't look, or like, you know, it just doesn't look right, so then you look at it like a literal different way. Now you can see like, oh, there it is. Like that's what I needed to do. Or, you know, it's just like you just got to look at things a different way. And you know, if you've done it 100 times, ooh, that's loud. You know, if you do it 100 times, like, and it's not working, I don't know. You just got to keep going. But then I think if you lose interest, then I feel like that you should just stop.
Yeah,
because like it's not going to work out no matter what. If you lose interest, if you have no more passion for it, like don't force yourself to do it.
Yeah.
And that's like, maybe that's another thing why like you shouldn't tell people, you know, what you're doing. Keep it to yourself until like you actually get it down. Because that's like another thing. Like you're like, I guess, you know, if you lose interest, then what? Now the whole world knows that you wanted to do this, and now
you did.
It's gone. Like it's done.
Yeah, you did like a whole promo run and like this and that, and then nothing ever came out. And I've done that a couple times. I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't do that. Like I've done it a couple times, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. I learned not to say anything anymore. Like it's just better, and it's a better feeling when you do something and put it out without telling anybody or anyone. And yeah, it's just failing. You just got to get that out of your head. You know, don't be. I know it's scary. Yeah, don't be afraid to fail. I know it's scary and it's discouraging, but life is not over. Like life continues and continues and continues. Just because you failed at this business doesn't mean that you're gonna fail at the next. How many of these rich fuckers who fail, you know, they're going bankruptcy, but they start something new. You know, they do that. It's a cycle for them. If something doesn't work, bankruptcy. They collect I don't know, they probably do it a way where they don't fuck anything up with them, but you know, they know what they're doing. Put that shit in bankruptcy, put it for sale, whatever the case is, and start something new. And that's how you got to look at it, you know, and like just be quick on your feet, because thinking that you're just going to fail all the time, like then you're never going to get your dream out. You're never going to get your idea out. You know, I have friends and people tell me like, man, I should get into clothing again, or I should do, you know, photography, or I should do this. And I want to open this up, and I'm like, then do it. Like, why are you afraid? And I know why they're afraid, because of their friends' opinions. They're not doing it because for themselves or because, you know, they're creative. They're doing it because they want their friends'
reactions
and validation on it. And it's like, well,
you're not
if that's
doing
what
it
you
for
want.
them, you're doing it for you.
Yeah, if that's what you want, and your circle, your friend circle is only 10 people, then those same 10 people are gonna buy it. Get down.
Get down, Folio.
The same 10 people are gonna buy it. So that's all you want. You just want your 10 friends that you see every day wear the same thing. You know, like, no, you want that shit worldwide.
I think also another thing is like, don't make it a big deal if your friends aren't supporting you. You know,
That's
like
the
we
worst.
all have different tastes. We all have different, you know, likings of things. Like some people are gonna like your stuff. Some people aren't gonna like your, you know, what your products that you put out, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Like not everyone's gonna like your style. Not, you know what I mean? Like same with clothing. It's the same thing with clothing. Like that's not something I would wear, but you rock it.
Yeah, and then
You know?
yeah, like, exactly. Like the first episode we were talking about clothing and style. Like you create your style. You know, you are the one wearing it, not them. You are. So it doesn't matter if they like it or they don't. There's still going to be people out here who are going to like it. So, you know, get that shit out of your fucking head that just because your friends don't like what you do, that you can't do what you want to do. At the end, you know, your friends are not paying your bills. Your friends are not putting the money down to start this business. You know, your friends are just there to watch. And if you have friends that that don't really support you, or the type of friends that are just waiting to wait till you blow up, or those like let me see how far he gets and then I'll start supporting, then those are the type of friends that you don't want to tell anything to, and you keep them as just your friends because you already know that. And me, like, I'm not saying none of my friends are like that, but I don't rely on them for that type of shit. You know, like
you shouldn't.
And you shouldn't. You don't rely on them, because then if you do, then you're just gonna get let down, and then you're gonna start seeing your friends a different way, and then it ruins your friendships, and then, you know, et cetera, and you know how that shit goes. But yeah,
like don't depend on your friends to be your number one supporters. Like it's great, you know, it's great to have your friends to support you, and you know that's good too. But don't be mad like, oh, how come my friend isn't liking my posts, or how come, you know, like now it's getting to you. Now you're not focused on your work. Now you're focused on the audience too much.
And that's also another thing. Like, oh fuck, did I fail my friends? It's like, I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna keep saying it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Fuck your friends. But when it comes to ideas and you getting out your dream and all that other stuff, I'm not saying fuck your friends in a hole where it's just like, don't be friends with them. I'm saying as in, when you are a creative person, or you think you're a creative person and you want to get something out, you do it the way you want to do it, and you don't ask for any validation.
Do it for you.
Just do it for you, and put it out there and see how it goes. They don't like it. Okay, what else can I do? Or what's a topic I can talk about? Or what's a design I can make? But
I think also too, it's like when you're too focused on, I mean, obviously you're going to have like a target audience. Like if you're designing something for kids, obviously like it's going to be for kids. But if you're doing like a more general thing, you know, I feel like if you don't hit a certain target audience, now you're like freaking out, and now you're going to be like overthinking your product, overthinking your design. Now it's like you're doing too much, and you're stressing yourself out. Like, don't stress yourself out. Like, do what you love, put out things that you love, because that's you. You're putting out you, and you're going to find the right audience one day. It just takes time.
And when you do find it, cater to that. You know, don't keep catering. Like, if you get an audience that, you know, this, say like for example, our parenthood video did great, right? Say if it did great and it got all these views and it got all this, and we're like, okay, people want to hear more about parenthood, you know, our experiences with parenthood and what we think about parenthood. But we go and we start talking about basketball or football or, you know, whatever, you know,
listen to me.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like we just disregarded what that video did and just went on something different, a different route. And then we're sitting like, why didn't it work? Because you are too into listening to what other people are telling you. You
also
know?
too focused on trying to get a bigger audience.
Yeah, like if you got an audience, like I'm just gonna repeat it again. You got an audience. Our audience is parenthood. We got that audience. Then fuck it. Every podcast is gonna be about parenthood. Until we're gonna run that shit dry until no one wants to hear it anymore. And then we'll try another topic. But you know, you can't just bypass that shit. You gotta, if you see it, that's it. Don't listen to like, man, I don't think you should talk about parenthood. Like, I'm your friend. I don't think you should talk about parenthood because, you know, that shit don't relate to me. I don't give a fuck if it don't relate to you because
there's other people. It relates to us, your own thing. So it's like,
and it's like the 100,000 views say different. You know, the 1,000 likes say different. So I don't give a fuck about if that shit doesn't relate to you.
It's not for you.
It's not for you. Then don't click it. Don't watch it. Obviously, it's on the title. It says
it's almost like those. What you just said kind of just reminds me of those people on Instagram where they don't like a video, so they like leave a comment, and it's like you could have just kept scrolling. Like just kept scrolling. Like just move past it. It's not your thing. Just go.
And
like
most of the time, they're the ones that are watching it over and over and over and over and over to get them fucking mad.
To find more videos exactly like that.
Yeah, and they keep getting more mad and more aggravated, more mad because they're watching it over and over. And it's like, well, dude, thank you for the views and thank you for the comments. That puts me in the algorithm, you know, like I appreciate it. Like you're sharing it to your friends or whatever. Maybe your friend might like it, but it's not going to tell you.
Yeah.
And, you know, now we have another subscriber, another this or another that. So it's like, you know, like what I'm trying to say is just listen to your gut, listen to your heart. That's the best thing you can do. Hello, we're trying to do a podcast here and you're not letting us do it, man.
Say hello. See?
But yeah, anyways. To sum it all up, you know, failing, don't be afraid to fail. You know, don't listen to these outside voices. No one's going to understand your vision the way you do. Keep pushing, keep going. You got nothing to lose. Unless you do have something to lose, then, you know, be careful with the decisions that you make. Yeah. But if you don't have nothing to lose and you're just starting off, just do it. You know, you just do it. Get those voices out of your head and do it. Like, you know, for another example is with her carpet business, you know, like,
oh yeah.
I told her to just do it.
I started doing it because it was before we got Domino. You know, I think you already named him. So, you know, I was like, oh yeah, let me make a rug. You know, it sounds fun, you know, and I just did it just to do it. And then, you know, I got all the other equipment and stuff, and I was like, dang, this is fun. You know, like I like doing it. If I tried to sell it and I sell, that'd be great. If I don't, it's cool. Like I can just make things just to make it. Like, oh, you know what? I want this rug and I'm going to make it instead of buying it. And I ended up having people buy the first 3 that I made. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, you guys like what I did? And then, you know, all these people started, you know, friends were the ones that bought it. But then, I don't know. It's just like, it's something that I like to do. And I wasn't, doing it to make other people happy. It made me happy, and then, but then I did struggle with, go daddy. I did struggle a little bit with like commissions and stuff, because like he knows there's times where it's like, oh, someone wants to get this, I got another commission, and then the next month or two it's like nothing, and then I was worried, like, damn, like I almost relied on it a little too much, even though I didn't really have to rely on it as an income, but I just wanted that extra thing. And then I kind of just like, it kind of discouraged me. Like, oh, no one's liking my stuff because there's other people making it, But it's just like, but this is what I like to do. I think I had to get that out of my head. Like, this is what I like to do. If I don't get anyone buying it, I can just keep making things because I want to make things. I'm the type that likes to work with their hands. I need to do DIY stuff, So it's just like, just do it. Just do it because you like it.
Not for money. I mean, I know the end goal is to make this your job, and you want to be creative and you want to work for yourself and whatnot. But you can't do it for money, because once you start doing it for money, like, shit never really works.
And then you lose I feel like for me, I felt like I almost lost my passion for a little bit, because I was like, damn, like I'm not getting any income, or, it's not working out, or I'm spending more than actually getting, stuff like that. And then I felt like my drive and my passion for making rugs was like going down.
Yeah.
But then how I started it, I was like, my spirit and everything was up here, and then it dropped, and I was like, you know what, like, this shouldn't like make me sad. This is something I'm passionate about. If no one buys it, no one buys it. Like, I can just make it for me.
And that's the thing. Like, that's what, I feel like stops people from continuing to do it. Mm-hmm. Once they're so used to seeing, the first month, they made, $5,000. The second month they made $4,000, and the third month they made $2,000. Now they're like, "Whoa, what happened? Why am I?" Then after that, and it's $1,000. Now they're just like, "Shit, I'm not making $4,000 to $5,000 anymore." So, I don't want to do this no more. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's because you're so focused on the money. When you just focus on your passion and what you do, like, that shit's gonna come no matter what. You just got to keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. And like with these podcasts, like, I'm not focused on trying to make money and whatnot. What I'm focused on is trying to just talk about things with you and with you guys, and maybe spread awareness on certain things when we get closer to stuff like that, or try to see, inspire somebody out there who's having a tough time, who can't relate to one of these rich podcasters, or who are content creators who are already had everything going on and decided to do a podcast. Like, we started this shit from the ground up. Mm-hmm. This is literally from the bottom, trying to get up there. And I want to get up there. I want to be up there with the best of the best. And I want to do it in a fun way. I want to do it where we're helping people mentally, we're helping or inspiring, or just whatever in general, whatever that we can do to help. Like, that's what I want to do. That's the whole reason why I created this, and told you about it and said, let's do this shit together. So, it's just keep pushing, keep going. Don't give up on your dream because you're scared to fail. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't listen to these outside voices. Don't just take that shit all out of your head. Once you practice that, once you learn that, you will start seeing everything, not only in business wise, but just in life. Yeah. Like, everything just gets easier. Everything just gets easier in life when you change your mindset, Yeah. You can't just change, but you also can't just change your mindset to just be like, all right, today I'm just not going to give a fuck anymore. Like, it doesn't work like that. Like, It takes time to start thinking like that. But when you think about it every day, it doesn't work. When you just put it in the air, like, man, I'm just gonna stop giving a fuck, and just go about your day, and just every day is the same, like going about your day. That's how you start to realize you stop caring about a lot of shit, or whatever type of mindset you try to put it on, and that shit, that definitely helps. I know that we talk about manifesting too, and you can't manifest like I'm not gonna care what my friends say, and you can't say that every day, because then you're gonna start you still care. You don't care is when you throw it up in the air and then you don't even think about it anymore, because eventually you'll stop caring, and then one day you'll just be like, oh shit, like I don't care anymore. And that's how I'm saying that, because that's how it works for me.
Yeah.
Like I just throw it up in the air and it happens. When I said before, I threw it up in the air. I was like, I'm just gonna stop caring about what people think and their feelings. Like I'm gonna not be helpful anymore, because I don't get the same shit back. And I was, I kept saying it every day, and I found myself caring more and more, until one day I stopped saying it and just like let it happen and just like went about my day. And next thing you know, the reason why I knew that I didn't care is because I think it was my friend told me something, and long story short, he just told me something, and I didn't react to it. I was just like, cool, like whatever, and I went about my day, like, and it didn't bother me. And I sat back and I was just like, oh damn. Usually I would be like, get emotional about it or whatever, but I just really didn't care.
Yeah. I think for me, when it comes to things like that, like, it takes time for me, because I have to, like, if I wanted to stop caring, I have to, like, sit with my feelings and be like, why is it that you shouldn't care? And then I have to, like, be like, oh, it doesn't benefit you. It doesn't like, things like this is what you should try to block out of your life, so it doesn't upset you. It doesn't upset, just, it just doesn't mess with you.
Yeah.
And so you're not like sitting here and like worrying about it. So it's just like, there's things that in life I had to just really, look at it as, this is not going to benefit you. It's not helping you. It's only making you worse. Like, these are the things that you really need to block out, like ignore, this and that. Like it doesn't need a reaction.
You have to sit down and think about it.
Like it, and then if you see it happening again, you're like, oh, I've seen this before. Like, block it out. And
it's almost like pros and cons when you do things like, okay, do I not want to care anymore, or do I want to care? Like, what's the cons to it and what's the pros to it? Or
just also like fixing the way you like react to things. I guess.
It's just like,
so then it helps you.
How you were saying, like you had to like sit down. It's something you have to sit down and be like, why do I want to do this? That's how you want to do it. And me, like, I was at a point where I was like, I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need no pros and cons. Like, I just want to stop. And
people do it differently.
Yeah, people do it differently. That's just me. And now I really don't. When I say I don't care, I don't care. And she knows when I say I don't care, I don't care.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those. It's like, you have to get, if you want to get in that mindset, you just got to put it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say yeah.
You just gotta put put it out there and make that your mindset. But yeah. That's what I think about, failing and all that. It's just like, you can't be scared. Don't be scared.
Yeah. I feel like another thing why there's one thing that really made me feel like a failure was when I graduated for occupational therapy assistant, and then what discouraged me a lot was finding a job, because at that time it was such a high demand job that, everyone already probably, the spot was already taken, but all the places that I applied to or what I could find was all per diem. So it's like the calls that I got were like, oh, well, you just graduated and we need someone who's already had experience. And I'm just like, well, how the fuck am I going to get the experience or gain experience if no one's fucking hiring me? So I was like, I give up. That's one thing that I gave up, and I was like, fuck, like I'm a failure because I went to school for this. I took the exam like multiple times because I kept failing, but I thought, like if I keep taking it, it's going to be worth it. If I get my, license and stuff, it's going to be worth it. And then I was just like, I gave up. And that was the time where I really felt like a failure. I was like, man, I'm going to go back to school. Dumbest shit ever, but like I went back to school because I thought, there's something else out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got my bachelor's degree. Now look, I still don't do anything with it. But that's the thing, like it's okay. Like, like
I mean,
my life
go to
still,
school too and don't do nothing, like people go to Harvard and go for being a lawyer, but next thing you know, they're fucking
something else.
influencers or something, like it's just something else. And it's like,
Yeah.
Your story of just, it's like, yeah, you feel like you failed at life.
I felt like I failed, and then, I graduated, got my bachelor's, and yeah, at the time I was looking for a job and all that stuff, and I was just like, man, like maybe this just isn't it for me, or maybe now's not the time that I get a job with whatever it is I graduated for. So, I just have to keep pushing through, do what I have to do. And if I find a job that is, that I graduated with, my degree, then fuck it, so be it.
So be it.
But you just got to keep going. I can't just let that stop me where it's like, oh, I got my bachelor's, I need to get a job with this. Like, just if it didn't work out, it didn't work out. Like, you can't just like beat yourself up for it. You just got to keep going, Like, yeah, it sucks and it hurts. And sometimes you just got to sit with your feelings. I think I've said that the last podcast. Sometimes you got to sit with your feelings, but keep it moving because life is not going to stop for you. Mm-hmm. Like life keeps moving. So you got to keep moving.
Yeah, you got to keep up with it because that shit just goes fast and time flies.
Yeah.
And just like, I went to school for so many different things. Like I went to school for pharmacy technician. I did that, but I'm not a fucking pharmacist. I'm not a pharma tech. I went to school for music engineering, and I'm not doing that. Mm-hmm. I went to school for fucking AC and refrigeration, and I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Like, so it also goes with making sure if you go into school that you want to go to school, not because you're scared of you don't have a career, or because your parents made you, or like you think it makes you a lot of money. Like, well,
yeah. I mean, that's what I did.
Yeah, like I guess it's good, if you want to make a lot of money, but I think it's more rewarding when it's something you want to do actually. Mm-hmm. Like if you're a fucking DIY and you're making a good living out of a DIY, you're not making 100,000, but you're making 70,000 a year. Mm-hmm. Like that's good. You're happy because you're doing what you want to do, and so even like that, like back with failure, like school and be getting a bachelor's degree and getting your certificates or licenses or whatever, and you're not even working on it, and you feel like you failed. That because you spent all this money and you're not even doing it, you didn't fail.
Yeah, you actually gained knowledge that one day that you can end up using, so it's fine. Like, yeah. I think that's like, you got to think the positives of it, because before, I know years ago I used to always just dwell on the freaking everything bad that's happened, and all like, and then I just one day just snapped out of it and was like, why the fuck am I just to spend the rest of my life just sad about because it didn't work, it didn't, this and that. I'm just like, just see the positive. Like, okay, well, I went to school, didn't, I don't have the job, but I gained that knowledge because one day it's going to help me out. And then it did, like, helping out my grandma, like doing OTA, like helped me help my grandma, around the house, help my mom. And then I think this one time my dad called me, he was like, oh, my shoulder is this. And I was like, I know exactly what you mean. And I didn't give him treatment, but I told him, like, this is what you can do to help make it feel a little bit better. Because I'm not a doctor. I can't, like, but, there's things like that where little things, like, I'm not a licensed OTA, but if, like, a relative or something, hey, this hurts. I'm just like, yeah, I know. And, so it's like little things, like, that's like the positive of it, you know? So it's
always,
just like,
that shit comes clutch at certain times, like AC and refrigeration. Like
one day,
I know a little bit about it, and there's a time at work that something happened with the refrigerator, and I knew a little bit, so I was like, oh, maybe this is what it is. And
we just dabble.
It just turned back on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And they're like, what the fuck? How do you know that? And I was like, oh, well, I went to
learned
school for this, and they're like, oh shit. Or my coworker wanted to learn about video editing and engineering. So be it that I went to school for it and learned about it. Yeah. And so I told him, look, you don't have to pay for these courses. I'll give you the basics. I'll show you the basics on how to do it. And now he knows the basics,
I think the universe will work in your favor as long as you're positive, and like, you just got to go through life looking at the good sometimes. I know right now there's just like a lot of scary shit, like I'm too scared to walk down the street by myself. But, other than that, just try and look at the positives.
And don't let shit like discourage you. That crazy shit discourage you from doing something just because like they might say the world is going to go to shit or this. Don't let that shit discourage you on getting a business or starting something. Yeah. Because what if the world didn't? So you're waiting a whole year to see what the fuck's gonna happen, and then the world's
supposed to end in 2012. Look at us now.
And then by 2025 comes, you're like, all right, I'm gonna do it, and then the world fucking ends at 2025.
Well, you did it.
And then fuck,
you did it. It's fine. You started it. You did it. We can die happy.
Exactly.
Like,
but it's like but what I'm trying to say is like you waited that long till you finally got out of that. And then the January 1st, you open your LLC, you got this, boom, boom, boom. And then January 2nd,
boom,
meteor hits Earth, fucking wipes out everything. Yeah. Apocalypse, all bullshit. Now you're just like, fuck, So, just don't be scared to fail.
Yeah. Don't be scared of the struggles, because I think whatever it is that you do, school, work, business, like there is going to be a struggle no matter what. And if you're lucky enough that you don't struggle, that's good. That's great. But, there's always going to be a struggle, and no matter what you do, just don't be afraid that you're going to go through struggles. Like it's normal. It's life.
Yeah.
You just got to learn how to push through it,
Another thing is like, for things to work out in your favor, you got to be 100% authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't fake the funk. Don't be fucking fake depressed. Don't be fake. I have fake anxiety. Don't fake that shit, because like that. People see that. You can see when like. I can see certain things like that. I can see when people fake depressed, because how you sad about this one day and you did it, and then like 2 days later you totally forget about it. That's not real depression.
Yeah. I think it's just like a consequence of your action.
Yeah, like 2 days you just like, and something good happened. Now you're okay, cool. I'm okay. But the real depression is Don't ruin that for people who have real mental problems.
Yeah.
Don't ruin it for a person who's really depressed. Don't ruin it for a person who really gets anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Like, be 100% real. Stop faking it and wanting people to feel for you.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely not gonna fucking feel for you. If out of nowhere you're like, oh man, I think I got anxiety. Bullshit. I've known you for a certain amount of years, and you've never said that in your fucking life. I've never seen any type of thing. And
Talking
now,
about me?
No.
Oh, I was about to be like, bro, I'm about to throw hands.
No, instead of just saying like just some,
Yeah,
just someone
like
in general,
someone
like
that
you
you've
know,
known
like
for-
if you known for a long time and out of nowhere that, yo, I think I got anxiety. What for? What? I mean, why do you have anxiety?
Because
And they
this
give you
happened.
a bullshit ass like thing and be like,
No, I
like,
think
man, I'm
you're
about to
just
smack
worried.
the shit out of you. Like,
I think we, we've been using these terms lightly when there's people who are severely depressed, have severe anxiety, and like, people take meds for it, things like that. Like, I feel like I have anxiety, but not to the point where like I'm having crazy panic attacks.
Yeah.
So there's people who have panic attacks and have like crazy anxiety, like, but
I mean, I
I'm not
haven't-
throwing that in your face and
yeah, and making it like an excuse. Like I wouldn't say I wouldn't have anxiety. I mean, I don't know. I guess you can call it, but like when I'm in a large group or there's too many people, like I start feeling jittery. So I don't know if that's anxiety or
Claustrophobic.
not. I'm like claustrophobic, I guess, but like yeah, I don't think I have anxiety. I know I've said it before, but then I think about it more. I'm like, it's not even anxiety. It's just like you get overstimulated and you panic when you. I don't want to say I panic. I don't panic. I just like I get more like antsy, I guess.
oh, he pooped, I think.
Where I'm just like I keep looking around like who's behind me and who's this.
Yeah.
Like I start getting more and more antsy and more alert. But like it just ruined. The way things are now with like social media and everybody could say they're depressed and everybody could say they have anxiety. Like my friend really has anxiety. Like one of my friends, my actual friends, really has anxiety, and he doesn't fake the funk. Tells me that he has it. Not, but our other friend has it, and he really does. So it's like, if someone else can vouch for it, then it's like, oh shit, you really have it. But nowadays, you can never really figure out who has what because it's all over this social media, and everybody believes it that you're depressed and that you're this and you're that. When really you're not. You're like you said, you're just sad about the consequence.
Yeah, there's
Or the
yeah.
mistake
I
that
feel
you
like
did or whatever. It's like you're sad because people didn't react to it the way you wanted them to react to.
yeah, you're not
and-
depressed. You're just sad and worried that something didn't go in your favor.
So it's just like you're not depressed. There's real people out here who are really depressed and who can't come back from it. There's real people out here fighting for their lives to who want to be happy but cannot be happy because of that depression. There's people out here who had a bad childhood, who molested, beaten, whatever the case is, and they're really suffering from that. And then you want us to care about because you didn't get this job? Like,
Yeah.
like I don't know if I'm sounding fucked up, but that's just me. Cause I
Did you poop?
I see people who have like real problems. There's people with real problems, and people take and others take this shit like lightly. Like they can say they have anything and have social media or their followers and their friends care like, oh, it's gonna be okay. Like, you're gonna be fine, and just to get that little ego boost, and then the next day they're like,
All
oh, I'm out,
happy.
we're doing
Yeah.
this and then that, and it's just like, then you weren't really fucking depressed. Don't tell me you're depressed when the next day you're happy, because depressed people are not like that. Depression really hits them and they're not happy the next day. They're probably worse the next day, and then after that they're probably even worse. So it's like, don't fake the funk. Be 100% authentic. When you do things and when you're trying to put yourself out in the world, social media wise, whatever the case is, be 100% real, because it's really easy to fake it on Instagram and just go on life just faking it. But in person, you're not really that way.
I think that works with like if you're gonna start your own business, like be real. Like for me, when I was doing rugs, I was transparent with my customers, you know, friends and people, also people I don't know. I was very transparent. I remember this one time I was like, I fucked up and I think I have to redo it, you know, or something happened and this and that. And I think I told you, and I was like, oh, I have to like tell this person. And you're like, no, just start it over and then you work fast anyways. And I was like, I think being transparent works better because at least they know like you're being honest with them. You know, I feel like for me that worked out because especially if I'm the only one working on it, you know, it's good to be transparent. And that's just me. I feel like that's just how I am, because if it were me on the other side, I would want especially if I'm buying something and something's not working out, I would want them to let me know like, hey, you know, like this isn't working out. Like maybe there's something else that we can do to get what you want still. So, you know, I mean, like,
yeah, that goes a long way too. Because same thing with me when I ship things out and I take too long, and I'd be like, "Hey, sorry for taking so long with the shipping. Like, just a lot of shit's going on, but I'm gonna get it out today." And they're like, "Cool, thank you for letting me know. Like, no problem. Just let me know when you get a tracking number." And then boom, that same day, here's a tracking number. You know, like you just being real gets you far.
Also, like, be very mindful with small businesses. There's some people who only work with just themselves. Some people don't have, like, another person working with them, or, you know, be very mindful of small businesses that you know, especially you know that they don't have freaking 10 employees working for them.
Yeah.
Like, like, don't rush me. I'm doing the best that I can.
You know, because entrepreneur is not as easy as it looks. Like, that shit, you still got to work. But, you know, like I said, just when you start something, just be 100% real.
Be real.
That gets you a long way. People see that and they gravitate towards it, and that makes them want to support you. That makes them want to buy your things. So be 100% real, and you'll see how far that shit, how far it gets you.
Yeah.
Because that does matter.
And don't focus too much on the whys. Like, why isn't my friend, you know, supporting me? But we talk every day. Like, maybe it's not their style. Maybe it's not something that they're gravitated towards you. Like, you know, maybe they'll support you in a different way, but they don't have to buy your products. You know, like, they love you, but maybe that's just not.
Yeah, that doesn't define your friendship.
Yeah,
like, just because they don't like it doesn't mean that they don't like you.
Yeah,
They just don't like your idea.
Yeah,
but I do want to say that I guess it's fucked up that they you know, like, no, I don't want to say, I'm just like babbling. No, 'cause remember when I told you about there's this post about this guy talking about like, oh no, man, he's like, you're not my homie. Like, how you gonna go say happy birthday to fucking Lil Baby and make a whole fucking post about happy birthday, blah blah, to some celebrity who is never gonna fucking read your message? But then on my birthday, you didn't even say you just put happy birthday, you know, and that's it. Like,
or like so dull,
you know. And not that I'm saying like someone he wasn't looking, but that's just like a slap in the face. Kind of. It's like, you're my homie. Like, we've been through shit. We've been 10 years together, friendship, and you go and write this whole paragraph for this rapper that you're never gonna fucking meet, or he doesn't give a shit about you. But, you know, on the other hand, over here, that I let you stay in my crib, you let you stay on my couch, you know, I bought you food, blah blah blah, and I you know, I don't get that same respect.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, that shit like that is fucked up as a friend. Like, me personally, if you have something going on, I'm going to support you no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to share it. I'm going to do all that so I can help as much as I can to get your dream out there.
Yeah.
But you will never see me fucking always post a brand or something that I know that doesn't even see me.
Yeah.
You know, when you can literally probably work with your friend, build something up together, and both of you can win.
Yeah.
You know, and like that's the whole point of helping each other out, sharing and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like if that person has a platform, share that motherfucker. That person has a platform, share it, because at the end of the day, he might help you out with your platform.
Yeah.
If this person is in music, share his music, share it, because you never know when that he might blow up or whatever the case is. But don't share it because he's gonna blow up. Share it because he's your homie. But also, he's gonna see that or she's gonna see that, and they are going to return that favor back. But not because they want it, not because they had to, it's because they wanted to. So if you had a brand and this music artist blown up, but he's seen or she's seen you always support, yo, send me some shirts, send me some hoodies. Like, I'm going to wear that for my music video. And then boom, next day, you're sold out of clothes. So what I'm pretty much trying to say is just like, support your homies. You know, support them. I know we're talking about like because they might not like it, but even if you don't like it, still support.
Yeah.
You know, I still show that support because you never know where that person might be or might go.
Yeah.
And he might bring you along.
Oh yeah, like support your friends, but like also as like running your own, just don't be discouraged if they don't.
Oh yeah,
But
that
yeah,
too.
you know.
But
Yeah. It doesn't hurt to show support and, you know, love to your friends, but also don't get discouraged if they don't. So
yeah, because it's not only your
Yeah.
friends. I know we're saying that in the beginning, like fuck your friends and all that. Like, I was saying it, like fuck your friends and shit like that. But don't get discouraged if they don't support it. But if they do support it, always remember, because you want to help them out whenever you can too. And me personally, like, even though you don't support what I do, that doesn't change the fact that I'm gonna still support you. Like, I'm gonna support you. You started something. Hey, I just started this new clothing brand. Like, you know, our shirts are already out. All right, I'm gonna post that.
Yeah.
Here goes. Like, but I'm not gonna support an idea if you don't have that out yet. That I won't do, because then I'm gonna look like a fool.
If you don't pursue it.
Yeah, I'm gonna look like a fool nonstop posting stories like, hey, I'm gonna do this, you're gonna do this, and it never comes out. And I'm just like, oh well, I just wasted my fucking time. But yeah, you're starting in business, don't look for that support, but it's also not a bad thing to get that support. You know, just keep doing you.
Yeah.
You know, and another thing too is motivation. You know, you got to have some motivation. You know, like I know most people motivation is money. You know, and me starting this and with you and, you know, the other business adventures I got going on is not because I want fucking gold chains and rings and you know, to buy you all this shit. Like, what I want it for is for him, for the next child, you know, for generational wealth. We talked about that. So I can get a Roth, or, you know, these Roths, these IRAs, these accounts to put money in for this dude and for the next kid. So by the time they're 18, they got some money of their own. They got some money of their own to do things. You know, like, I want them to do things the way I didn't do them.
I don't know what he wants.
You know, I want them to do things the way I didn't do them. Like they have to.
I think I feel like we're just like our parents when they had us. It's more of like, I want the best for my child, and I feel like that's what we're doing too.
I mean,
We
I
want
think
the
that's always.
Yeah.
It's
So
always a given thing.
So it's just like we're doing all of this for him. I think like when you have kids, it kind of changes. Now that we're doing it for him.
Like, I want that generational wealth. Like, I want to know the day that I my time is up, or when my time is up, or even before it, that I know that I have generational wealth for my kids. Like, I want to know that, oh yeah, like I created this and that. Like he's gonna have that. If they want to continue the legacy, they can continue. If not, then oh well. But I just know for a fact that these kids have money waiting for them.
Yeah.
You know, they have money waiting for them, and whatever they want to use it on, they can use it on. But it has to be, you know, for business purposes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has to be for business purposes, and I want them to continue that. You know, like, this is not a really great example, but like the people who like kind of run this world, like those, you know, the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and shit like that. You know, as much as corrupt as it is, like that generational wealth must feel great for their kids and for the next. Not saying that what they're doing with their wealth is great, because it's not, because it's really fucking up the world and the society and whatnot. But the way that I want to do it and the way, you know, that I'm thinking about it is almost like that. Like every time a kid is born from them, they have that wealth, and they can pass it on down and keep passing. It's a revolving circle. So what I want to say is, like, I do it for that. Like, if afterlife is anything like what people talk about, and I can still see and remember, like, it would be fucking super cool to see that keep going. If I can keep,
so you want him to, like, you want to start a legacy.
Yeah. So if I can be in the afterlife and just watch him grow and see how he takes it, and then he has kids and he passes it down, and that kid has a kid and passes it down, and it keeps doing this and it keeps doing that. Like,
circle.
That's what I want to do this for. That's my motivation. Maybe I don't know what the afterlife is, but if that ever came and I saw that, like, that's what I want to do it for.
Yeah.
Not for the chains, for the cars, for any of that bullshit. Like, if I get to see him grow and see him with the business and excel more and make more and pass it down and be smarter than I was when I was doing the businesses and stuff like that. Like, that's what, when you can move on from the afterlife. Like, you know how that one movie we watched, like, she wasn't
Lovely Bones.
Yeah. She wasn't, you know, she wasn't happy until, you know, her dad knew.
She wasn't able to move on. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I want to be. Like, I don't want to move on until I know that he's in the right path and he's doing everything.
Yeah.
And that's my motivation. Like, that's what I want to do it for. Once I see that shit and I see there's a circle, like circle of life, and it just goes back and it just keeps, then I'm like, you know what? I'm done. Like, I'm ready. Like, just.
Like, you did your part.
I did my part. Take me.
Take me. Jesus.
Just like.
Jesus, take the wheel.
You know? Like, fucking, this is the end.
Yeah.
How he was getting, like, sucked up. Like that.
What did he say? And then they dropped him.
What did he say? He's like, I think
he said something bad,
like,
right?
Fuck you.
Yeah.
And then it just said, and just fell back. Yeah. But, you know, like, shit like that. That's how I want to see it. Like, if like I said, if anything, the afterlife is how they talk about. Like, if I'm able to see him become, become great, like, and I want to put that pressure on him. Like, he doesn't understand now, and I'm not gonna put that pressure on him.
No,
when he
it's
gets
just
older
you can show him. You know, this is the stuff that I'm doing. If you would, if you're interested in it, you can go ahead and work on it, whatever.
And if he's interested in you doing it, but at least, and even if he's not, at least the money that I put away for him by the time he's 18, he can take it and do whatever he wants to do. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, hopefully he takes it and he triples it, quadruples it, whatever.
I mean, as long as, I feel like it just depends how we are in our life, and if he sees that we're always trying to do more, do better, he's gonna, follow through and not follow through, but like, want to be like, oh, I want to be like my parents, where they're smart with their money, they're, they invest or whatever. They're always trying to double, triple the amount because You know, not to like have like the fanciest shit, but to be.
Yeah, I don't need the fancy shit. But don't get me wrong, I still want I would like a nice car.
I just want these
You know?
shirts. Can you send me more Twilight shirts? He wants a car, and I'm over here like Twilight.
Yeah, like, you know, that's my other motivation is a car.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be.
No, it has to be.
Yeah, it has to be. No, but I'm saying like compared to all the supercars out in this right now, like, you know, like
You just want that one.
I just want this one car,
Yeah.
this one company, only this company,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
it, and that's Porsche. That's the only car I want. And if I had an opportunity to buy 5 of them, I'm getting 5 of them. And that only in that car only.
Yeah.
But that's my motivation. That's another motivation. Like I want to be able to like wake up in the morning. I don't drink coffee, but I have my fucking Synergy, you know, shit, and I go out in the garage and I'm like,
I did it.
fuck, I got my
Yeah.
5 that I
That's
wanted.
your goal.
My
That's another
collection,
thing, yeah.
you know? And that's it. And I get to sit in it and I'm like, I get to sit in it and I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you want, your motivation is like you find it and that's you're happy about it.
I think my motivation to do better now is damn. I feel like this is gonna be deep as fuck, but it's like how I was back then. I was always sad, you know, always dwelling on the bad, and like I would always like just wanted to be like a hermit, stay in my room and like rot, you know. And I think it's gotten to the point where it's like, especially having him, I feel like I wanted to do better mentally. You know, I wanted to push myself and challenge myself better and to be better. And it's mostly for him.
Mm-hmm.
But naturally, it's like if I'm doing better for me,
Yeah,
I'm
but
doing
you
better
do it,
for him.
Do it for yourself too.
Yeah.
I know most people say, "Oh, you can't just do it for your child. You got to do it for yourself too."
But naturally, it is for you.
Yeah, you're doing it for him, but it's also just going to fix you naturally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
So my motivation is just how I used to see myself back then.
Yeah.
You know, like I was just a sad girl, and you know, I didn't want to do anything. I wasn't really motivated to do anything. I think I just realized that I don't want to live the rest of my life the way I used to.
Yeah.
I think that was my motivation to do anything and everything to be better.
Yeah.
I just saw how I was living my life back then. You know, it's not that it was like fucking horrible. Not like I was, you know, living on the fucking street and stuff, but I think I was just so stuck in my head that, you know, I always thought I was never going to get better, you know, this and that. And
everybody's situation is important.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to be like, oh, I grew up with no home or whatever. Like whatever your life struggle is, that's your life struggle, and that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it's just how you push through it.
yeah, it's just how you push through it.
Yeah.
That's
that was my
your motivation. Now you want to be a better person.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I wanted to make sure that I don't put my younger self, you know, through that again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, I've seen, you know, these videos where it's like, you know, if you talk down on yourself and they would show a baby picture of them, like, then you're talking down on her.
Yeah.
And that, like, you know, now I resonate with it a lot more, where it's like, you know, before I used to talk down on myself. I mean, I still do, where I'm like, oh, I'm ugly and this. And then I think about it like, man, now you're just, I think it's, I learned to accept that there's a quote unquote standard, but that's just the standard that like everyone thinks is the standard.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I had to push myself out of that, where it's like, there's so many different beauties. There's so many different this, so many different that. So it's like, I had to really push myself out and like motivate myself to be better for myself. And then, you know, now that, you know, life goes on, so I can't just sit and dwell in it.
Exactly.
So I really,
the, you know, pushing, saying like, oh, I'm not, you know, beautiful, or I'm not this, I'm like that. It's like same thing with guys. It's like, oh man, I don't have the best clothes, like, and I used to think that way too. I'm like, oh, I gotta get the best clothes. I gotta look, good, so people can like what I'm wearing and stuff like that. But this is, I have like this ain't shit compared to what you see like on Instagram now. Like, this is just regular ass Gap jean, a fucking vest, and athletic, little base layer.
Yeah.
Like, nothing crazy. But how you were saying, I'm not trying to fall in that standard anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care. Like, if this is comfortable to me, like, I get to go out and be comfortable, like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
So, and that's what, your motivation. Your motivation is to be better for him. My motivation is the same thing, to be better for him and create something for him and for the next kid and for the next kid.
Yeah.
And, to obviously get something I really want. Yeah, I really, we really want we want to build our own house. I really want this specific type of car, and et cetera, et cetera. I really want multiple businesses. Like, that's my motivation. Yeah. So, you gotta have you have to be motivated. If you're motivated by fucking girls and drugs and like
living a rock star life.
Yeah, cool. Then, I guess that's what it is. Like, and that doesn't really last long. But if that makes you happy, that makes you happy.
Yeah, who am I
to say anything?
Yeah.
But
we're just saying it as for us, like how we motivate ourselves and whatnot. So.
Yeah, because at one point, well, no, I guess I'm not even saying that, because you can't say at one point that all that shit doesn't matter, because there's still fuckers who are 50, 60 years old trying to live the rock star life and, just only have a girl every day and like some shit. But that's them. That's what makes them happy. So that's what makes you happy. Whatever. But all in all, stay motivated. Don't get discouraged. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't rely on people. Rely on yourself.
Because at the end of the day, all you have is yourself.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, even if you're in a relationship, at the end of the day, it's still you only have yourself.
Because you went and walked outside, and you got hit by a car, you got shot or something, you were by yourself. And if you start relying on me, then what's gonna happen? If I'm not here, then what's gonna happen? Or if you're not here, what's gonna happen? It's like you have to do this for yourself. And if your partner's here or whatever your life is going, and you guys are together still, like, then you do it for each other. But you also got to remember,
at the end of the
day, it's just you.
Yeah, it's married, you're with someone, anything, just in general, like you really do only have yourself. So like, you're looking out for your family too, but make sure you're still looking out for yourself. Yeah.
So but look out for yourself.
Razzle dazzle.
What else? We already said stay motivated. Look out for yourself. Don't be afraid to fail. Do
what you love. Yeah, I guess.
Do what you love. Be free.
If you want to
be you. Just be you.
But if you're an asshole, stay away from me. But be you. But just stay the fuck. Yeah. I guess. I'm just being honest.
And just if I'm going to say if anything out of this, be 100% authentic. Don't fake it, because that can only get you so far.
There's people who can really look past it.
Yeah, and
so like
when you wonder why that person is not talking to you or doesn't like acknowledge you, is because they see that you're fucking faking it. Yeah. Like, I see a lot of shit too, and I may not talk to you as much. I'll say something here and there, but if I'm not speaking to you like that, it's because I seen past it already. Like, I saw it. So don't try to convince me that this and this, that. I'm like, and I'm not going to tell you that I see it, but I'm just going to make you feel stupid.
I'm going to make you feel
Like, you know, you should feel stupid for doing that in the first place. So, you know what I mean? Like that, I'm just being real. Exactly what I'm talking about is exactly what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm being real. Like, I'll make you feel stupid for trying to make me feel stupid.
Yeah.
You know,
for trying to what's it called? I don't even fucking to soak in your fakeness.
Yeah.
Like we're not like we can already see past it.
Just keep the energy over there.
Just
Don't bring it our way. Don't bring it to other people's ways that are trying to do things. Don't fuck their shit up.
I mean, I brought it up on the other podcast. Like, you know, you can't really fake it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's things that the whole fake it till you make it bullshit.
I mean,
like,
you could. A lot of people do fake it till they make it, and then when they make it, they become real.
I don't know. I guess
rappers have to put a persona on.
I guess.
You know, when they're rapping in the beginning, they go and buy fucking fake chains to when they do music videos because they know that shit gets the audience. So they're faking it. They don't got no real money like that. They don't got no jewelry like that. That shit turns their neck green. But once they get that deal, now they're gonna go to jewelry stores like Icebox and go get the fucking chain and show like I got the fucking chain. And then down the road they'll have interviews and they'll be like, yeah, man, when I made and shot that music video, these chains were fake. Man, all that shit was fake. Like, you know, I had to do what I had to do because I got to put on like, you know, I have this shit.
Well, okay. So that makes sense for that, but I feel like
but don't like fake.
what I meant was like faking who you are, like before you know, before I would fake that I was happy, fake that I was, you know, I'm A-okay, go out, have fun, drink. Did he poop? And, you know, and then, you know, I'm all happy. Everyone's like, how are you doing? I'm good. I'm fine. This and that. I go home and all of that is gone. I'm fucking sad, depressed. All I do is cry. Like, and then later on, because like I fake it so much and then I come home and all I do is like sit in silence and stuff like that. And then later on it starts to show. Yeah. So I feel like when it comes to that, like,
you know, and
don't fake it.
Faking it also as in like, you think you got money and, you know, you're trying to impress somebody with money. Like what we were talking about earlier, you're trying to impress somebody with money and now that person thinks you got money. So everywhere you go, she is expecting or he's expecting for you to spend that type of money. And then you're just like, fuck, man, like I shouldn't have spent that. I'm assed out, but I got to do it now because she thinks that I have it like that. Like, you know, that shit gets you into some trouble. So don't fake it, you know, be real, be 100% authentic. And that's that. Like,
you'll attract what's for you if you're 100% authentic. Yeah. So,
yeah, well, I mean, what we got, like an hour 30?
I don't know.
I mean, we don't care about the time, but we want to make these.
I just want to make sure we get what we want to say out. Because there's sometimes I'm just like, did I say it? Did I not? Did I miss it?
I'm sure there's a lot, you know, to say. It's just like people's like their attention spans are so short nowadays.
My attention span.
But anyways, yeah. So, thank you guys for tuning in, listening to this. I feel like
this is actually like this podcast is actually it feels more better to me because I feel like the last ones I had notes. Yeah. So, you know, like, I don't know if you saw, you know, the other podcast, I was like looking down at my notes. I wasn't reading it. Okay. It was just jotted ideas. So I was just like making sure I like hit the points. And that kind of made me feel like I had to make sure it was like almost felt like it was scripted. You know what I mean? So I guess that's why a lot of people don't really write shit down or they have it like
feels better
one
to
word.
Just bounce off of each other and stuff like that. But you know,
I hope it didn't sound scripted last time. So that's all I'm saying.
But
and also,
hope you guys enjoyed it. What were you gonna say?
Team Edward.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, I had a really. I mean, I feel like this one was probably one of our best ones so far. I mean, no, we only did 2, but
Yeah.
I feel like this one,
This one was fun.
This is something that I really wanted to talk about.
I think this is something that we talk about a lot in our daily life too. So it's kind of like,
Especially coming from, from people who were started from the bottom. There's a lot of people who are started from the bottom, and, hopefully take this as some motivation, some inspiration, and, start their shit.
what'd be cool too is, in the comments, let us know how you motivate yourself, or, or your opinions on whatever it is that we talked about today. Yeah. So I think that'd
don't
be
be
cool
afraid to.
I'd love to hear your stories and stuff like that. So, it's Sleepy Bubba.
Yeah, don't be afraid to say, to put on. If you don't want it on the comments, don't be afraid to message. You can message us. Like I said like we said in the last one, feel free to message us. If you want to talk about anything, more about motivation stuff, parenthood, anything, I'm sure we can help, or at least try to help.
Or if you want to vent.
Oh yeah, if you want to vent, like we're here to help. I mean, we're here to hear it out too. So, yeah, comments, messages, they're all welcome. We're all here. We're here to help, and that's the whole point of this podcast. And I'm always going to say it on every episode, that the whole point of this podcast is to let your emotions out, let your your opinions out. Everybody's different, and we don't judge anybody on it. So
maybe a little bit. Just kidding.
She does. I don't. Not really.
Shut the fuck up.
But yeah. So please comment, like, share, subscribe. Our link trees in our bio of
Hope
Instagram.
you guys enjoyed this.
Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. We see when you guys share, like, and subscribe and all that good stuff. And
we appreciate
if you want to leave us a comment and say, hey, just subscribe, we'll respond back. That's what we're looking forward to. And we appreciate it. We love it.
Thank you.
He likes it. This is his talk show anyways, because it's named after him.
Seriously.
Everything I do is pretty much named after him. Appreciate it. We love it. And we'll see you guys on the next one.